now our topic will be about your name is your brand. I'm really curious about what the topic will be about. So let's welcome on the stage Muna Abdullah AlHebsi.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for being here today. My name is Muna AlHebsi and I am an ambitious woman. First of all, a little bit about myself. So I come from the Emirate of Ras Al Khaimah, and I have studied in the higher colleges of technology in Iraq Women College. I think the topic for today about branding and personal professional branding is something that each and everyone need to know about. And it's, I would say, a testimony for something that I myself have done. And I felt it is something that really everyone needs to do in this age and time. So when I started my career back in 2005, the world of work was a little bit, in fact, a lot different than what it is today. And I started like in the hospitality industry because I always wanted to challenge the existing norms that people accept and go about their lives. And I wanted to show people that, no, if you believe in yourself, you can always achieve something big in life. So what I did was I chose to be in the hospitality industry, and I worked for 15 years there. I worked with some of the big brands in hospitality like Jumeirah and Grand Hyatt. And I did also my education, like higher education. Currently, I'm doing my DBA to further my goal in life. I want to talk to you about my branding journey and how it really helped me to achieve the image and the reputation that I have achieved today. So if we talk about 15 years back, 20 years back, when people used to work, it was not really very clear whether they are having a job or they are having a career. And the difference between both was not very clear to people. And the colleges and the universities didn't teach people much about what's the difference actually. Is it the same? And if you were working at that point of time, it would be really great if you had just a decent job with a decent company. But not in this age and time. I'm talking to working people who are in this room as much as I'm working to entrepreneurs, actually. Because even today, if you are a working employee with any company, I think a lot of speakers before me kept on talking about the why. So I'm not sure how many people have asked yourself the question, why actually you are doing what you are doing? And what is next for you? Because anyone who asks themselves the why question got somewhere in life. So a lot of us do what we do because we want to get somewhere, we want to contribute, we want to have meaning in our life, and we want to leave a legacy. But in today's world, if you are just working like anyone else, anyone can get that far if you are just doing the normal stuff. And that's why one of the things that I did is I've written a book that's called Beat the Odds, and it includes all of my career experience, the trial and errors, the tricks that I've done, because this is one key to professional branding, is to beat the odds. It's not to be like everyone else. It's not to be in the mainstream, and is to stand out. And the book actually talks about my journey, first of all, starting from the beginning when I decided the industry based on the speciality and of the uniqueness, because at that point in 2005, there were not many, I would say, UE national venturing into hospitality, and especially if it was a local lady coming from Ras Al Khaimah, from a background of mountain tribes. So you can imagine how challenging that was for a lady like me. But as myself, I am an elder sister to 7 siblings in my home, and I've always been the black sheep, I would say, in my home, doing things that no one would want to do. So in that sense, I decided to venture into hospitality, and then when I got there, there was another challenge waiting for me. It's like, okay, so a local lady working in a hotel, So now dealing with colleagues who think maybe I'm less competent or I'm not as good as other people just because I'm covered or I'm wearing, I'm not, the hospitality and leisure, you know that. So for me, my task was to tell everyone that it's not about the taboo, the perceptions that we have in our mind about people. It's you can always do things if you believe in yourself. So I did a lot of stuff. I went through ups and downs like everyone else in the career. But then what was the difference is when I discovered the techniques that would help me as a working professional to stand out, be someone who people can talk about and who can follow, because since we are talking about women in this room, like we know a lot of us as women, we hesitate. We have this tendency to hesitate to become visible, tendency to tell people, look at us and see us. But it's nothing bad about it. It's like it just depends on what you are doing and what the message you are trying to send across to people, mission you are serving, basically. So this is what I have done. I've done a lot of stuff. For example, the first thing is to be so good at your work that no one can even actually think about anything. Like when people talk about your industry and your sector talk about you, the first name comes as your name. So for me, it was when they talk about HR, when they talk about hospitality industry, I was always there. I was there in the different events. I was speaking in events, and these are some of the stuff that I have done. To go to award ceremonies, to collaborate with different people, and also the work that I have done with giving back to community. So basically mentoring young national, coaching young national, and especially ladies. Because always when I was interviewing ladies to join the industry at that point, they used to come with their brothers, they used to come with their fathers, and they were very thinking, oh, so why would we allow our sisters or our daughter to work here? And I was telling them, this is a great place, this is a great industry, there's a lot of potential. So basically, it's about how you portray yourself. It's about how you become someone who people can look at with credibility because of what you are doing. In fact, to emphasize the importance of branding, I was on Instagram the other day, and I came across the video for Gary Vee, if you know him, of course. And he said something very, very interesting. So a guy was talking to him in the interview, and he's saying, so Gary, what you used to do before you become successful like this? He said, of course, working. I used to work all the time. But he said, but the difference was, I was always making those kind of motivational videos that you see even today. But the difference was, at that time, in 2008, only 109 people used to watch my videos. And the difference now is that I'm successful. So when you are successful, you tend to become more visible. And that was really an amazing statement, because he said, everyone who got succeeded, he or she had to go through the same kind of path, and they had to do a lot of work. But there's a difference if you do a branding or you go and show your work, talk about your work, and if you are just keeping things to yourself. I think one of the main skills that any employee, any entrepreneur, or just anyone need to master in this age is the skill of talking about your work in a very graceful way. Because I think a lot of employees, they are working and working and working forever, but then they reach a dead end. They don't know what's next. They don't know what to do next. But if you master this thing, you would actually get to the next step and highlight your work in a very nice way and help people to come learn from experience and also form a lot of collaboration with other people. There's one thing that I would like, obviously, to share with all of you is how it's like a tip, basically, how you do this if you are a working person. So what you do is you divide your time into 50-50. So it's like the 50% of your working time, it should always be dedicated to putting objectives at your work, achieving KPIs, developing yourself, and things that has to do with helping your professional life in the company, in the organization itself. And the other 50% should always be something that will serve your own bigger mission, bigger picture. And this is where most people fail, because you see most people, they are doing the first part that I talked about 100% of the time. And they don't dedicate enough time to actually talk about their achievements, form collaborations, expand their network, or, for example, have reach, for example, become visible, and even give back to the community. There are so many things that if you do in terms of branding, you are kind of going there and telling, see, this is me. And this, for example, in my case, I would say, okay, this is Muna AlHebsi. And why I said your name is your brand, because the ultimate objective of anyone who's working is actually to build a brand, to build their names. So think of your name as a brand. If you have your name, so this name ultimately will be a collective of a lot of experiences, knowledge, information, and a lot of things that you will ultimately mold and, for example, mold and polish to put it as a brand. So this is ultimately what you need to do. I would like, before I finish my session, I would like to talk about a small story. When I used to meet people in the beginning, in the first part of my professional life, people always used to ask me, so how did you get into hospitality? It is very difficult to do that. But for me, it was my belief, and because I always wanted to create that change, I always wanted to be someone who drives change in my community, especially coming from the background I'm coming from. I wanted to become an inspiration to ladies who live in the same kind of conditions like me, and that no matter what you go through as a person, it's always your thinking and your belief in yourself, of course in Allah, but in yourself as well, to whether you can do it or not. It's the external circumstances mostly a reflection to what's inside us. So you need to have a strong belief in yourself to do that. I think that's it for me. But finally, I would like to end with a statement that I always use about branding. And it goes like, what gets seen gets sold. And that's true for products and also people. Thank you very much.
I have a question for you.
Yes, please go ahead.
So because you are a brand specialist,
Yes.
I generally meet people, they want to start a business, and the very next day they want a lot of money.
Okay.
So such kind of client you might have seen, right?
I mean, there are
They
people.
want to do, today they want to invest, tomorrow they want the result. So how you handle such kind of client?
I think engineer Suad maybe said something. She said a lot of people would like to become YouTubers and social media and have followers. But I like what she said. Like, you need to have that back end work. It's everything take time to happen, to actualize in the real world. So there is a difference between, let's say, a YouTuber or a brand, a person brand in social media who just came from overnight and no one knew how she or they came, and a person who had years of experience, knowledge. Basically, they have substance. This is the word. They have substance. So you can also identify these people by just having a 2-minute conversation. I mean, my sister was just saying that when we were talking about it during lunch. You can identify such people by just having a 2-minute conversation. Is it real or is it just a fake image? So I think everything takes time.
That's amazing. And there is one lady, she want to compliment something.
Yeah, hi everyone again. I know Mona actually for since 2017, end of 2017. Yes, beginning of 2018. We started our book journey together, and to just show you how much I saw how much she moved with her branding. She didn't want to be shy about herself. So I wanted to, because we are talking about supporting women, I wanted to give her this support because I can see her journey, how she become an entrepreneur. When we met, I think you were in HR in Zabil Sarai, in Jumeirah, right? And now she's an entrepreneur. She's having her own company and she started her journey very well. Deserve where she is right now. And I thought, I have to mention this because I know her for, 5 years now. And seeing her journey, seeing how she improved is just the fantastic things. And she knows what she's talking about. So I'm glad to know you and thank you very much.
Thank you, Pega. I really appreciate your kind words. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is a true demonstration of a branding, that you have a testimonial on the floor.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
very
Pega.
much.